Hello everyone, I'm very glad that you listened to my story. Please give me a follow and like the video if you enjoyed it. Feel free to comment and provide feedback so I can improve the sound quality. Yes, I will now continue the unfinished story. Chapter 15 Cave In. I was just about to dial it back my mana circulation to the 6th move of Supreme Combat Exercise because this pain nearly making me nearly black out, but I didn't get the chance to do that because another hole opened near me and monsters started to swarm out. Fuck. I curse seeing a group of the monsters coming toward our direction. Soon it spits and 5 leave 3 monsters come to my way. Ah, save me, save me. I heard when I looked to see a man being eaten alive by red nail rat monsters. Slink slice. I cut to kill another monster leaving 4 behind. These new monsters are quite smart, they attack in coordination, it makes really hard to kill them. Clang 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 slice, another monster got heavily injured by me, I only able to slice 1/3 of its neck, a fountain of blood could seem to ooze from its neck, it will soon die to leave behind 3 monsters for me to kill. Having killed 2 monsters, I felt a little relaxed. It gave a chance to catch a breath. Fighting monster against life and death helping me endure the pain of 9th move of the exercise, the pain is still immense but at least L got out of the fear of blacking out amidst the fight. Slice yet. I shouted as I killed 2 monsters in 1 move, it was a little risky move as 1 monster jumped to attack my head and other 2 were attacking my legs. To kill 2 monsters on the ground, I had to sidestep at last second when red nail rat's nail was very close and perform very large horizontal slash close to ground cutting both monsters in half. I didn't get unscathed out of it, my shoulder got injured by the rat who attacking me from jumping, I move backward and stab last remaining monster in it head killing him on the spot. I didn't have the luxury to entertain rest as I quickly removed the bandits and quickly pasted them all over my body. I have to thank my mother if I am able to survive this for packing so many band-aids. These band-aids are especially for monsters band-aids but can also be used on a human, I just have to place them near the injury and they automatically spread on injury closing the wounds. These band-aids are called micro band-aids made with nanotechnology, they are fingernail size but they cover the wound size of adult fist easily. Chew. Ashlyn is eating the hearts of the monster that I killed. Ashlyn, eat quickly, I said to her because I know new monsters will soon come. It looked like a long time fighting but barely 3 hours passed since I started fighting and it will take near day at least for reinforcements to come. The situation looked bleak but still, all people are fighting with all their heart. Ashlyn started cooking and eating the hearts of the, I really wonder sometimes how she able digest all in her palm-sized body. The 5 hearts she just ate right now is size small child's fists. I have to do something about the mana, I am running out, I only have about 20% left. I don't have mana potions like Jim, the only option is to eat monster's meat which is enriched with mana but for human digesting they take time. I was about to pick out a monster heart from their bodies to eat when a group of 3 red nail rat attacked me, I barely dodged their attacks. Clang clang as my sword and their nails touched sparks flew out. I took back the silver fire which was coating my sword to save mana but it decreases offense a little, I kept circulating the 9th move of the exercise and didn't dare to circulate the 10th move fearing to black out. Beep, a notification lighten on my hollow watch but I am not in the mood to read as I fighting. Fuck me, curse Jim. This was the first time I heard him cursing when I looked to find him reading something on his hollow watch while fighting monsters. What is it? I asked. To make Jim curse this must be something important. Mr. Black informed that many low-level monsters will come from underground soon and he won't able help us as he and other lieutenant stage powerhouses are holding back lieutenant-level monsters, Jim replied. My heart skipped hearing that new. Till now many holes were open and monster come out but Mr. Black didn't want anyone but this time he warned, this would mean only one thing, a large amount of monster will come soon, that means we probably have maximum half an hour before big lot monsters come. Without thinking consequence of blacking out, I circulated mana in directions of the 10 NT move, I screamed in pain. Even if I black out and fell unconscious death await and if I didn't try my all, The death is awaiting me similarly. Of the two choices, I would prefer dying while fighting. I circulated 11th and 12th move consecutively without caring for consequences. The winds all over my body popped out as they will burst any second. Slice slock slice in. Within second I was able to kill all them, but my mana also reaches extremely low, only 10% is remaining in central storage. Without resting, I dig out the heart of the monster and cooked it for 10 seconds with silver fire and ate it in one bite. I ate 7 hearts till I can't eat any more. The tastes of the hearts are not as disgusting as I thought it would be. In fact, they are quite tasty. I just hope they will be quick digested, but to my surprise, I digested them within minutes. I ate them. I didn't understand at first, but then remembered the information I read about the Supreme Combat exercise. It said that circulating exercise will help to digest faster. The more moves I circulate, the faster my digestion would become, but I didn't have put much load on that. 20 minutes passed since I heard the notification, the monsters will come soon. As I killing any stray monster which comes in my way, I notice my big mistake when I didn't feel any new mana which I should get from eating monster meat. I looked inside my mana world. Fuck, I am a fucking idiot. I cursed myself when I forget the most important drawback of my refinement engine. That I will not able to any other mana except which stored in central storage of refinement engine. The mana my body absorb and mana I get from the monster meat will turn it mana cloud around the refinement engine. To use that mana I have to absorb it into the engine to refine and store it into refinement engine. The large mana cloud already had surrounded the refinement engine. It was much time bigger than first mana cloud which I had absorbed into refinement engine. The mana I got from eating monster meat is faint in color, obviously purer than the mana my body absorbed from the surrounding. To know the purity of mana I have to refine it first. Ashland comes, I said, and Ashland come inside me. I started to operate refinement engine to refine mana cloud while performing the 12th move of mana calculation engine. It put so much strain on my mind that 3 blood veins of my head cracked apart and blood started to trickle from it. I was in no mood to consider that because I could feel little vibration under my feet and I know when they will reach the surface, large number of them will pour in. Bang, loud bang heard from the center of the battlefield as the ground started to cave in. Many people in that fell into a big hole. There is no need to think about their outcome. Tata sound could be heard from the ground and soon wave after wave of black and red started to come out of the hole. I gripped my sword strongly as I waited for monsters to come. Chapter 16, second level of private stage. Wave after wave of monsters started to come out of the hole. I break into cold sweat seeing their huge numbers. I started to speed up my refinement. Another 2 veins popped up, but I don't care because I am seeing hundreds of monsters coming in our directions. It's been 10 minutes, I've started refining mana and central storage is only 17% is filled. This refining speed tripled my normal refining speed, but this time, it is too slow. I operated refinement engine without any fear because I will need a hell lot of mana in the fight. On. I see little change in the event. I look to see it's Jim who is leveled up. Congratulations, I said, and he nodded with a serious face because of his eyes on the large group of monsters which coming toward us. Soon his monster comes out of him. There is little change in Black Snake despite leveling up. The only change in the monster is that its eyes become dark forest green. I am happy for him being leveling up because Jim would able to release some pressure off me in the fight. The large group of 200 some monster come running toward us. My back clearly got wet seeing this. Still, I gripped my sword ready to attack. We will win. We will win. We will win. We will win. Voices rang across the whole battlefield. I don't know who shouted first, but soon all people start to shout. I also joined in and started shout. I filled me courage in this hopeless situation. Ah! I shouted as 10-something monster break from the group come attacking toward me. I slice my sword toward them. Every swing of the sword if touched will injure or kill a monster. The pressure is high as there are more than 10 monsters are attacking me. The veins are over my body is banging as bulging as I performing 3 most strenuous tasks simultaneously. I am operating refinement engine, circulating 12th move of supreme combat exercise and also fighting monsters. My head is hurting so bad that I just want to hit it on the wall. Pucci. I stab one monster in the skull directly killing him. Fuck. I said as monster's nail attacked my calf. Thank God, I dodged by the moment or my legs would have got seriously injured. These fucking monsters are seriously crafty, they are attacking me where I am most soft, they left to let a chance go, whenever they see my weakness they attack, the injuries are piling up all over my body and these fucking monsters not giving me moments rest to apply the band-aids. The most relaxed in our line of defense is Jim, his monster is back into form, whichever that monster bite, turns up dead at the moment and monsters can't seem to track that black snake that it was so fast that only its shadow could be seen. Jim is fighting smart, his snake attacking the only those monster who got very close to Jim, Jim conserving his monster's energy, so, it could be used in life and death situation. I don't have that luxury, I gave my all to kill this monsters as I don't have any trump card in hand. Slice 2 masters fell to sword but still many are remaining and more will come if I didn't finish this monster quickly, I will get more than I could handle. My sword moved left to right killing any monsters who came in its way, giving them no chance to retaliate, the numbers kept decreasing but sometimes stray monster always joined but, making me feel more pressure. My mana had reached 70% in central storage and kept increasing. The mana I got from eating monsters' meat is purer that I refined and it probably crossed 40% purity, because of all these damn monsters I can't even check the purity scale. Shit. I cursed as I got bitten by monsters, I have to quickly finish all these monsters before I am dead due to excessive blood loss. I can feel my body getting stronger by seconds, the veins which had started popped all over my body earlier now turned to normal, and I got the feeling that the first wounds that I received are already half healed. I directly circulate 13th, 14th, and 15th move of Supreme's combat exercise, Poc 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 Pacific. Veins started to pop all over my body and I even wanted blood due to pressure my body experience but I didn't care. With little shaky sword and vision distorted, I started to kill monsters all around me, every swing of sword killed the monster, their numbers kept decreasing. In 5 minutes I nearly kill all of them remaining only 2. Fuck shits take this. I said as I killed 2 monsters with a swing of the sword and there no monsters left in front of me, I took a heavy breath and just want rest as I am feeling extremely tired in both mind and body but I know there is no time as next batch of monsters will soon come. I quickly remove the band-aids from my backpack and start to stick them all over my body, when I properly looked myself even feel shocked, I completely had become a bloody man as all my body ridden with injuries. I started to remove hearts from the bodies of monsters and started to eat them, this time I didn't even cook them I ate it raw because I don't have luxury cook them and then eat even if it would take few seconds. Those few seconds for one heart turned out for 10, I kept eating even after I felt full, I only stopped when there is no space left in my stomach anymore. I've eaten 19 hearts, nearly 3 times more than last time, as I am circulating 15th move of exercise, I kept digesting and then refining it through my refining engine. As I check my mana purity I got quite startled, it reached 44.6%, they say is really eating monster meat is faster and favorable compared to absorbing mana through surrounding. Soon another wave of monsters came, this time 3 times more than last but this time I am not scared as my injuries are controlled and healing, I have stored nearly 90% mana in central storage. I've eaten so many monster heart that lots mana kept refining but there one small fear that I have to spend mana early as possible if I don't, my body will bloat and explode like a balloon due to excessive mana production without any space to store it into my body. I lighten my sword with the silver fire, it looked like blazing sword quite beautiful and this way I'll lose mana quickly and it would also be lethal to the monsters. Slice my every sword attack cut to kill without any wasted movement, sometimes even I kill 2 or 3 monsters at once by throwing blazing fire in the monsters and them slicing them apart. Time begins to pass and it's been 10 hours since I've been fighting monsters but monsters aren't lessening instead they are increasing, Slice. I kill the monster who jumped on it. Choo choo. I heard Ashton's voice as she is inside me. I became ecstatic hearing what she said. She said she is ready to level. No, don't control it as long as you can, I said. I said it because my mana purity is only 48%. I want mana to be purer when we level up, because purer the mana is during leveling up, the more stronger she will become after level up. Central storage of the engine already 96% full, which satisfy the condition to level. There must above 90% mana in the body before leveling up, or there will be an adverse effect. Leveling up monster needs lots of mana as a precaution, the more is better. I stopped absorbing mana from mana cloud and started re-refining mana, which is the central storage of the engine. I started to refine and compress process as I refine mana as well as I am fighting the monster. Time to time I absorb mana from the mana clouds to maintain 90% mana in the central storage. I kept re-refining the mana in the central storage. Till yesterday I was only able to maintain only 2 rounds of re-refining, but now I am refining at my 14th cycle. As cycle get increased, so is purity. Time passed on. It's 5 hours since it re-refining mana and 15 hours since I am fighting. I am feeling so tired. If I close my eyes for a second, I will fall asleep immediately, but I can't do that as I am fighting more 20 monsters. If my focus even slips for a second, they will eat me alive. Chu. Ashlyn called saying she can't hold anymore. Okay, I said, and she let loose the restraint she has been holding on and started to level up. With her I also started to level up. She is leveled up when mana purity at 59%, which impressive, better than my parents who leveled up at 41% and 43%. A warm current of energy started to flow into my body, healing my injuries little while making my body stronger. I can feel the silver fire I've inherited from her also becoming stronger. Leveling up did not take long. With 15 minutes it's all over, but it became twice as a stringer. Chuyuo Ashlyn come out of me with long cry, having her whole body covered in fire. Boom, a blast and out as collided with dance group of monsters, with that group having 10 or so monster. When fire cleared out, all monsters were dead and Ashlyn sitting on the skull of the biggest monster with her held high. Chuyu, she cried out proudly, displaying her achievement. Chapter 17, 3 hours till reinforcement. Choo. Ashlyn stood on the skull of dead monster and cried out arrogantly with her head high. After she leveled up, her attack got stronger, especially due her mana purity has reached 59%. She really cooked all monsters alive. It is a good thing because I need a lot of hearts because I am completely drained. Ashlyn's leveling up taken more than 80% of my mana. Ashlyn, from now on attack only those who come me. I said, wildly killing monsters will not do, she has to conserve some mana when the need arises. Choo, she despondently, she also wants to test her power on new targets. After killing all the monsters near me, I started to remove the hearts and started eating them before the next wave of monsters come. This time I also 20 hearts just like before, but this time chances of being bloating and exploding due to excessive mana is really because I leveled up and my getting stronger by second as I am circulating the 15th move of Supreme Combat Exercise. I started to absorb the mana cloud into the engine as I am running dangerously low on mana. I wouldn't take long. In this life and death environment, in little over 1 hour central storage will more than 80% will be filled. It's been 15 hours, I have been fighting the battle. In my whole life I've never stayed this long while holding them. I am so tired, if a pillow touched against my head, I will fell asleep standing. But I am shocked by some people's resistance who had been fighting without rest and has not changed in these people performance. I've asked him for the reason. He said that most of the people who are fighting are mostly from the West Blood City. West Blood City experience Horde 2 to 3 times year. Even today West Blood City is fighting the Horde, if not reinforcement would have already had come from West Blood City. Tat-tut-haten, new wave of the monsters come slice. I sliced across monsters, these bastard are kept increasing. Jim, are there any news of reinforcements? I asked. There are more and more monsters kept coming. Even Jim run out of his little mana potion and had to eat monster's meat. No, there is no news yet, he said. we either have to hold till reinforcements arrive or kill all the monsters, but that likely happens as the monsters kept coming. Killing all the monster in front of Jim had started to collect the heart from the monsters. After collecting sufficient hearts, he removes the vial from his backpack and sprinkles its liquid on the hearts. Smoke started to come out of them and their color changed from blood red to light red. After all, smoke is evaporated. Jim started to eat the hearts of the counters cleanly without dirting his mouth. That liquid he sprinkled on the heart must be some digestive liquid which helped to digest monster meat easy. He had been doing this ever since his mana potions run dry. This seems to work for him as there is no sign which tells he is running low on mana. Beep beep beep. Hollow watches of all the people started to ring out simultaneously. I opened the notification amidst fighting. When I read the notification, all color drained from my face, not only me, all the people who are a corporal stage or below. It was a notification from Mr. Black saying large groups of specialist and corporal stage monsters are moving underground. The only saving grace about this notification that according to him it will take them an hour to reach them on the surface, so now we have only an hour to prepare. Well, at least I had an hour. I have to be at my apex form when those monsters arrive. Slice within half an hour, finished all the monsters in front of me. I looked up to find nearly half the people killed the monster and preparing for a big fight. I remove the band-aids from my backpack and paste them on the wound. I am running out band-aids, I have to use them sparingly. My injuries have been healing pretty fast. The half of my injuries are completely healed and the heavy injuries I received are in the healing process. If I have given 2 hours time, they will be healed enough that I can fight without feeling any discomfort. Ashlyn is eating monster meat as I told her when the big fight starts she will not have any chances to do that. I also stuffed monster meat till I am full despite fear of bloating and exploding due to having excessive mana. Thump thump could be heard from underground. The monster will soon come from below. It didn't take long to monsters to came. This time they didn't open a new hole but come existing big hole which is opened by monsters previously. Monsters started to pour out from the hole, but this time there was no private stage monsters, all the monsters which is coming of its specialist stage or above. Specialist stage red nail rats are bigger than private stage rats, while private stage height up to my knee, specialist stage red nail rats height reach my thigh, and corporal level monsters are even bigger than that. Soon a specialist stage red nail rat monsters come to attack me while baring his teeth at me as the attacks with his nails. I attack with my sword to counter its cleaning thud. Papa, just my sword and its nail touched. I blasted backward, colliding with tunnel wall and spewing out blood from my mouth. Thud, I barely dodge follow up the attack as it collided against the tunnel wall. Fuck it. If this gong on any longer I will die in seconds. I lighten my sword with fire and I counter it next incoming attack. Papa, I vomited blood as I blasted backward by the attack. This isn't going to work, I have to do something. I scream with my bloodied mouth as circulated move after move of exercise while taking a heavy beating from the monster. I've never been so injured in my earlier battles. Soon the circulation reached the 10th cycle and I even black out for a moment from extreme pain. It was that monster's attack that took me out of my revelry. Clang 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 clang. My sword and monster's nails met hundreds of times in the minutes. Even circulating the 20th move of supreme combat exercise I am barely able to hold it back. The power difference between stages is too great. Even at the 20th move of exercise, I wasn't able to do anything. Many people are getting all around me, but many people are still fighting back, but not much longer. They are barely holding back their tiredness as they fighting back monsters. If some reinforcement or something didn't happen in few hours, all of us going to die. Just I was think a loud sound rang out in the tunnel. Reinforcement will come in 3 hours from West Blood City, we just have to hold on for 3 hours. A loud serious voice rang out in the tunnel in clear-cut voice, but not many people believe it as most of the people thought it faux to inspire them to fight. Beep. But soon notification arrived from West Blood City itself. They must have deal with Horde to send reinforcement to us. That notification from West Blood City rekindled the flame of courage in the people heart and they started to fight to give their all. Fuck. I cursed as monster left a deep gash on my thigh. It started bleeding heavily, even circulating 20th move. I found hard to kill the monster, much less kill it. Greeting my teeth, I circulated 21th, 22nd and 23rd moves of exercise, fighting unconscious, keep myself fighting, Pierce take that you fucker. I said as I pierced the monster's stomach, clang clang, it is not dead as we keep fighting, but it will as I hit its vital spot on his stomach. Puchy, my sword pierced its EY directly killing it. I didn't have much to keed mu injuries as Ashlyn fighting another monster, she half injured it, but it is very difficult for her to kill it due to their level difference. I also joined fight with her to kill that monster. It didn't take us long to we killed it within 20 minutes, barely 45 minutes pass since the announcement of reinforcement, but there are more than 2 hours remaining for their arrival. I quickly remove all the band-aids and paste them on my injuries. I sighed as all my bandages are used, nothing left. If I got injured again, I don't know what I will do. I open the chest of monster and remove its heart out, taking my finger inside the heart and remove finger size crystal, it monocrystal of monster, which the only specialist and the above monster could produce. I remove the second monocrystal from another monster and pocketed them. Ashlyn and I eat heat of specialist monster as we only have half our mana left. Come to Ashlyn, I said. She integrated inside me. We have to refine mana quickly as next group of monsters will soon come. Michael, little help here. I heard to see Jim was fighting 3 monsters alone and nearly at the death's door. I rush there to help me as he did to me when I surrounded by monsters earlier. I got them and help him kill the monsters. Only 2 hours before reinforcements arrive, said Jim as he applied ointment on his wound. After applying his ailment, he ate the monster meat of specialist grade for mana recovery. Yes, only 2 hours, I repeated, and soon we again started to kill the monsters as they came. Chapter 18, End of Battle. Only 2 hours till reinforcements arrive, I have to hold on till then. Clang clang clang. I am fighting 2 monsters simultaneously and Ashlyn also holding back another one. I have been fighting 18 to 19 hours and it's taking a heavy toll both on my body and mind. The only thing kept me going is the thought of reinforcement which said to arrive in 2 hours. I am scared for my life. I am scared that a big group of powerful monsters will swarm in before reinforcement. I have many dreams and most important, I haven't seen my younger sibling yet. Slick. I injure monster on its leg but not able to kill it. Being at the specialist stage, they are more intelligent than private stage monster and can use better teamwork. Puchy. Fuck yeah. I shout out as I pierce the head of the monster, effectively killing it. Seeing their partner dead, monsters went to mad and started to attack me in frenzy. It is little hard to counter their frenzied speed as I kept getting injured now and then. Sparks fly as monsters' nails and my sword collides, countering each other offenses. Slice clang damn. I cursed as I failed to kill that monster, just injuring slightly. That monster would have been dead if not for other monster stopped my attack with its nails. You fuckers are really egging me, I said and attacked to match their frenzy. Shhhh, I sucked a deep breath as red nail rat's nail dug deep into my thigh, but there is not time mulling over this as I have monsters to kill. The circulating 23rd move of Supreme Combat Exercise, my body's heading ability increased a lot. Now whatever injury I receive, it will clot in minutes, preventing excessive blood loss. Kakak. Yeah. I shouted as I cleanly decapitated the monster, leaving behind only one monster to kill. It would take longer to finish it. Gripping my sword, I start to attack the last monster. I want to quickly kill this bastard to provide help to Ashlyn. She was fighting another specialist stage monster all by herself. Thud, the monster blasted apart by me and hit the tunnel wall. I followed behind to quickly, but that slippery bastard quickly got up and countered my attack with its nails. It will not alive for much time. Clang slice on. I got little startled as monster cut half by me. I thought the monster will counter my move, but it missed and my flaming sword cleanly cut through its middle. Not wasting any more time, sneakily walk toward Ashlyn, who is having a tough time against her opponents. I want to sneak attack on that monster and kill it in a single attack. I asked Ashlyn to use a big fireball to distract it. She did what I asked her. She summoned the silver fireball of her size and threw it at the monster. Boom, small boom rang out, as smoke was just clearing. Poochie. I sneakily got behind it and stabbed it on its skull, killing it one shot. I sigh looking at my injuries, although they are not fatal but they not harmless. If got piled up too quickly they could be life-threatening. I can't do anything about my injuries except quickly remove my clothes from my backpack and tear them to strips to use them as a bandage. I would have asked Jim for his ointment but he used it all. The trick using cloths as a bandage, I learned from him as he was doing that. I quickly remove the fingernail-size monster cores from its heart. These monster cores are really expensive in markets. They are used in alchemy, magical weapons, and fuel for the various machines. They can also be eaten by monsters but they had to eat in small quantities. It will take 10 days for Ashlyn to finish it completely. The monster core contains extremely concentrated mana and the nature of mana is very berserk in nature. If Ashlyn ate it whole monster core now, she will explode in less than an hour. That's how berserk monster core's nature is. After counting 4 monster cores I've collected now, I got a total 7 total. This fortune for me. I even wish it for a second that more monsters would come so that I can get more monsters core out of them. Shit. Why, I said as I saw 6 specialist stage monsters coming toward me. I just had jokingly wished that more monster would come too so I could collect more cores but now my wish come true. There are 6 monsters are coming toward me. Ashlyn, do you mind handling 2 monsters? I said. If Ashlyn would have been surface monster, I also lately would never ask her to do that but she is bird type monsters, as long as she didn't get too close to them she will be fine. Red nail rats are one of most weaker species who have no long range or projectile attacks, their strength lies in their large numbers. Clang 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 I started to fight with 5 monsters. I have become an automated machine in this hour of fighting. I just swing sword whenever I find a weakness in monster's posture. People all over me fighting with a monster with all their heart. Some people even kept projection of clock activated on their hollow watch to see time as they were waiting for the reinforcements. Kaka. I killed last of the 6th monster by decapitating. To kill these 6 monsters, I had to pay a hefty price. My whole body had ridden with injuries. I quickly collected all the monster cores from monster bodies and started to bandage my injuries using my cloth strips. I looked my watch to see only 40 minutes till reinforcement comes, maximum they will take 1 hour. The notification came from the West Blood City said that reinforcement is coming using flying magical artifact which is many times faster than the train, so they should be able to arrive in time. Gasp totems. I shouted, not only I, but Jim was also shouted, seeing 5 beams lights of different color projected in the sky, distinct forms of the sword, saber, but shields could also be seen inside them. They are totems. One can create their totems after reaching the lieutenant stage. They can be any form of sword, armor, monster, what you desire. Totems can be used as direct weapons or can also be an argument in the weapons to fight. Totems can increase its user fighting power to a whole new level. But to create a totem one's mana purity have to be above 70% or above. 5 beams light there seemed to 5 people that brought out their totems. People only brought out their totems when they are serious because to use totems takes a lot of mana. Ta-ta-ta-ta. There are 2 monsters coming toward me. I relaxed at first but then I noticed the size seemed to bigger than normal LV1 specialist grade monsters. Fuck, I said slowly, I know what is coming. These 2 monsters may be LV2 or LV3 of specialist grade. I started circulated 24th move of Supreme Combat Exercise. I tried it earlier but feeling 10 times more pain than 23rd move I backed down, but now I have no option. Gritting my teeth, I fully circulated 24 the move and completed the first set of Supreme Combat Exercise. I attacked the monster who came in front of me. Clang thud put put put, I blasted backward and started vomiting blood. The power 24th move is no use against them. This difference between power level, no exercise can fill the gap. no matter how amazing the exercise may be. Thudded crack crack. I again blasted and collided with the wall, my bones broke and sword left my hand. I didn't have the energy to move my fingers, the situation changed so suddenly, a few minutes ago I was killing monsters and now monster is about to kill me. Chuyu Ashlyn cried out and threw fireball double her size but they're no use. She covered herself with fire and collided against the monster but she was also blasted apart by the tail of the monster, Ashlyn. I cried but I don't have the energy to help her, I felt so powerless. The monsters had come close to me and attacked me aiming for my head, I didn't close my eyes but look at sharp nails coming toward my head to take my like. Thud suddenly purple light flashed and the monster fell flat without completing his attack, I was shocked seeing this, I thought I was dead as monster come so close killing me. I looked up to see where the purple light come from as it was the one that killed. Hovering in the air is the man looked to be in mid-20s. Releasing tens of purple bolts of lightning from his finger, whichever monster those purple bolts touched fell dead. The reinforcement had come, thinking there is no danger to my life anyone, I closed my eyes and fell asleep in second. Chapter 19 Madame Marina. Chapter 19, Madame Marina. When I opened my eyes, I find myself in the white environment. Inhaling the light smell of disinfectant, I know where I am in the hospital. I am wearing a hospital gown and when I checked my injuries, they are healed, not even a scar left on my skin. I was quite heavily injured, there were injuries all over me, especially broken bones which I've got just before reinforcements arrived. How many days as it had been? I mumble myself, it's been 4 days since the fight. I heard Jim's voice, it comes from the bed beside me, he still looked injured. How come your injuries not healed yet? I asked him, when those 2 high-level specialist grade monster fighting me, 1 high-level specialist grade monster also fighting Jim also getting trashed just like me, his injuries had been quite heavy. Not everyone is a freak like you, he said. Even doctors were a little startled seeing your injuries healing 3 times faster than the normal private stage, he continued. But they thought it was because it was probably due to I was an ability you got from your monster, but when I told them you have mutated gray spark sparrow, they did an extensive test on your body, they found something amazing. He continued. You are practicing that devil's exercise, don't you? He asked. I didn't understand what he means by devil's exercise, but then it dawned on me, that he probably referring to the supreme combat exercise. Yes, I said, it's not much of a secret, everyone at least tried it once in their lifetime, it's just that I just completed its 1 set. I knew it? Jim exclaimed. I have my doubts when we were fighting because your attacks didn't look like they were a half skills but they had power of 1. When doctors did the test, when they found out you were doing that devil's exercise and completed 1 set, they got very excited and told that woman, he said excitedly. Then his expression turned complex. Michael, you have to be careful. He was cut off by melodious voice in midst of speaking. Are you saying something about me, cry baby Jimmy, asked a beautiful lady, she looked to be in her early 30s with a beautiful face and blonde hair. She had very cute and fluffy snow-colored fox in between her hands. It looked little different than normal fox monsters I've read, but one thing is sure, it is the cutest monsters I've ever seen. And nothing, I am just talking to my friend, he said defensively. Madame Marina, how times I have to tell you my name is James, he said with little irritation. Did she just call him crybaby Jimmy? Looks like they know each other quite well. Well, it's not my fault that you always used to cry whenever you played with my cute Seychelle, she said as she lovingly stroked her cute fox's head, and that cute fox smiled in pleasure. Fear could be seen on Jim's face when he looked at that cute little fox. You always behave like this, crybaby Jimmy, I will talk to your mother about this later, she said, and then her gaze turns to me. Her eyes turned blue when she looked at me, from upside down. I felt like I am completely naked in front of her, it's like she can see every secret of my body and nothing can hide from her eyes. Well, your neural damaged completely healed, I have to give it to you, Completing one set of supreme combat exercise at just 16 old is really praiseworthy, she said. I looked at confusingly. The reason you were unconscious for 4 days because you had neural damage, it's healed and your network became stronger than before. Your neural network now can easily endure the pressure of more than one set of an exercise, she said. Thank you, I said, only I could understand how extensive injuries I've received, especially neural. It requires expertise to cure it very quickly. Oh, one more thing, if you able to circulate 10 sets of supreme combat exercise in the years, then come to me, I'll run some tests on you. In exchange you can request any grade 2 or below potion from me. Remember, you have 3 years, 3 years later I'll leave and you will not have a chance to get grade 2 potion of choice, she said, got little startled by her proposition. She even left her number on my hollow watch. I nodded to her, but I know it is impossible for me to complete 10 set 3 years, even 10 years would be not enough. Million in one able complete supreme combat exercise yen sets, and it takes them more than 10 years to do that. You are now discharged, you are free to go, she said. I nodded. I am also feeling fine except for sore on some places, which is fire. The soreness will go away in a day. Madam Marina, call back your damn fox. Jim shouted. He is scared stiff as that cute fox played around him. Jim is really weird. That cute little fox wants to play with him, but he is scared instead. Seychelle, let's go. Crybaby Jimmy didn't want to play with such a cute little fox like you, she said in mock anger, and left with her cute four. What is wrong with you? You are scared of that fluffy little fox? I asked. Really, no sane person would be scared of such a cute monster, and that fox looked to be private stage monster. Jim can harm it with a wave of his hand. What stage do you think that fox is? Jim asked. Private stage, I said without much thinking. Jim shook head hearing my word. That fox you call fluffy and cute is probably brigadier or maybe higher stage monster. I was shocked hearing that cute little fox is brigadier storage monster, and Jim even said properly, he even sure of the exact level of the fox. 3 years ago, when biggest horde in the decade had attacked the city, that little fox entered the horde and killed the horde leader of brigadier stage with the swing its tail, he continued. To kill the brigadier stage monster with just a swing of its tail, that fox may be general or marshal level monster. That damn little for used to come our home with Madam Marina to our home. That damn fox used to play me like a toy when no one was around. I became so scared of that I used to hide whenever Madam come to house, he said, and scared expression appeared on his as if he was remembering those days. Who is she? I asked the question before I control myself. I know this question is not I can ask. I don't know, my parents acquainted with her decade ago. She comes and go, but every year she spends 1 or 2 months in the Republic, he said. We both felt silent. That. Chapter 20 Exchange Point. I activated the barrier screen for the privacy and opened the drawer of the small table which is beside my bed. The hospital will keep your things in the drawer as long as its size is not bigger than a drawer. I opened the drawer to see my backpack and small box already there. I hastily opened the small box to find 13 fingernail-size monster cores inside it. Seeing them, I heaved a sigh of relief. These monster cores are very important to me. Specialist stage monster cores usually sold at 5 to 10,000 credits. Mine are the lowest quality. Even then I will get a minimum of 5,000 credit. I know they won't go anywhere, but I was still worried. With this 13 crystal, my life in the West Blood City would be easier. I took out the set of clothes from my backpack and wore them. I have only 2 sets of clothing left. In the battle, I have used a lot of my clothes as a bandage. I have to buy a lot of clothes and accessories like my shoes, bandages and a new backpack. This backpack tattered and barely holding on. It did save me many times from the attack of a monster on my back. I deactivated the privacy screen, and about to leave saying goodbye to him when I remember he is local of West Blood City. Jim, do you know any good apartments in the outer ring under 5,000 credit? I asked him. Previously I had decided to live in the place which cost less than a 1,000 credit, but after obtaining the monster cores I decided to live in a better place. I have a friend who could help you, he is a property agent, who can help you find the best place at a good price, better than those sites on the web. He said. I nodded, and waited for him as he called his friend. West Blood City housed more than 70 million people, and it divided into 3 parts that known as 3 rings. The rings are known to be defense barriers of the city. West Blood City has the 3 defense barriers known to be Outer Ring, Middle Ring, and Central Ring. Outer Ring is the first line of defense of the city against the monsters, an area which housed more than 2 times people combine of other 2 rings. It is where common people and low-level adventurers live, especially those below corporal stage. Middle Ring is the second line of defense of the city and house nearly 20 million people, and only those at corporal stage above has the right to live in it, or has corporal stage or above powerhouse has to be for you to live there. The last is Central Ring, which also the last defense of the city, which housed less than 3 million people, and mostly cities elite and powerhouses live there. But the funniest thing is you didn't need any qualification to live there. As long as you have enough money you can live in the Central Ring. The lowest cost of living in Central Ring above 300,000 credits, normal people can't afford it, only those at corporal stage or above able afford to live there. Michael, my friend, wants to talk to you, said Jim. I nodded and walked toward him. His hollow watch is showing a projection of his friend. He is the man in 20s wearing a professional suit. Hello, I greeted. Hello, Jim had mentioned you need an apartment. Here are 16 options I have selected for you, please choose which you like, he said, and projection of 16 apartments and their detail appeared in front of me. I started to view all 16 apartments he had given me. There no need to check them personally as it is reality projection. All the apartments he had shown me are studio apartments, which costs 4,000 to 10,000 credit. All buildings which apartments are had offered food court for both humans and monsters, training facilities etc. after paying a certain price. All the apartment are very good, but I have the choice to make, to choose between 16 of these studio apartments. I selected the apartment. The specialty of this building that it had 15 training facilities and most of its residents are specialist stages. It cost me 7,000 credit, more than 6,000 of my initial price, but looking at the apartment I felt it's worth the price. I signed the apartment contract and paid the signing amount, but Jim's friend declined to take his commission and I didn't force him. I talked with him for a while and about say goodbye when Jim said something. Michael, will you be free in 2 weeks? He asked. He knows I come West Blood City for adventuring and didn't join the government or any organization. Yes, I am free, I said, as I don't have any plan except going outside for training and hunting monsters for meat and core. Do you mind joining me for training in the forest and we will hunt some monsters? He asked expectantly. Sure, I said, that is also my plan, having Jim with me also a good thing. See you in 2 weeks, Jim, I said and left the hospital. I tapped my hollow watch a few times to find an exchange point. I had spent all my money on signing a lease of the apartment and did not have enough to take a cab to my new apartment, so I am finding an exchange point near me. Exchange points are places where people exchange monster cores for money. Yes, I shouted softly as finding exchange point in the lobby of the hospital. I get into the elevator for the ground floor, the elevator filled with people. One middle-aged man nodded and smiles at me. First I didn't why he did that, but then it dawned me that his middle-aged man also a survivor of the battle. I then smiled and nodded back. The lobby of the hospital is grand. Lines of the elevators could be seen in the lobby. People are going in and out it. I feel awestruck seeing this scene. I never have seen such scenes except on TV. I've been in my small town whole life. I've never ventured outside it. I've spotted exchange point in the lobby and walked toward it. I strode inside the exchange point. Inside is machine half my size. I put 10 monster cores into the machine. Soon it scanned it and shown the price it estimated of monster cores. I accepted the price. Beep. A minute later, amount transferred to my account, a total of 51,000 credit. I exit out of the exchange with a bright smile on my face. Chapter 21, West Blood City. I ordered the hovercar through my hollow watch. It didn't take it long to arrive. I quickly to a sit in the back, drive slowest as possible. I commanded the car. It is a fully automatic laced with voice command, it will do as it rider required as long as commanded. Car's speed slowed down as it possibly could according to the rule. At normal speed, it would have taken the car to 1 hour to reach my new apartment, but now I order it to slow down. It would take little less than 2 hours. I have ordered it to slow down to see the scenery of the city. The hospital is at the outer ring of the city. What I seeing now is only scenery of the outer ring. I wonder how middle and central ring would. I will sightsee it when I have enough time. West Blood City looked majestic as it's seen on the web, with gigantic skyscrapers filling the sky so its crowded streets, and I can see gigantic barrier made of force field. An immense amount of energy must need to run that barrier. The city has life in it itself that kept people going. It is completely different from the small town I've come from, where only peace and tranquility and occasionally have some excitement. Chew. I felt an Ashlyn comes out of me. Chew chew chew, she called out. She is saying she is feeling hungry. She is inside me for 4 days resting. She also got injured and was fatigued due to constant fighting, but after resting she is now feeling really hungry. I remove the packet of specialist grade monster food and give it to her. She started eating quickly and finished within minutes. Chew, she called out again for more food as she was still feeling hungry. I was startled, but then understand after she leveled up her diet also had increased. I took out another packet and give it to her. I have to admit Ashlyn is a glutton. What she is now eating is her parents' death, who are the whole grade above her, but she who is a whole grade below is eating their diet. After eating she flew on my shoulder to watch the scenery of the outside. I have come to the West Blood City with no plan but one dream, that I have to reach Master Stage minimum in 5 years, 1 grade for each year to participate in the League of Heroes. Now that I reach the West Blood City, I am 1 step closer to reaching my dream. I just have to fight and progress. As long you as never stops fighting, you will never stop progressing. Soon we reach the building where my apartment has. The building has 67-story tall, has 15 training facilities and 5 swimming pool, 3 cafeterias, and garden on the roof to relax. All the apartments in the building are studio apartments. This building specially designed for the adventurers to live. Most adventurers do not need large space. What they need is good training facilities for them to train and good cafeteria which have good and some facilities of entertainment. As long as these things a building could provide these, they will choose that place to live. I got out of the car and walk into the apartment building. The lobby was medium size, not as a grand hospital. In left has a reception desk which an old lady sitting on it, on the right had waiting seats, and in the front had an elevator. I directly walk to the elevator and flash my holo watch to the screen. After signing the lease I got the command key of the apartment. My apartment is on the 32nd floor. In a minute, I reach my floor in a minute and walk to the number 16 door. My apartment's door opened as flashed my holo watch on it. Gasp! I let out a gasp as I saw my apartment's inside. It is not big, it has a single room of 25 sq/feet, but it is fully furnished. It has everything one needs, from the kitchen, refrigeration cube for storing and preserving food, washing machine for washing clothes, a wardrobe spacious enough to 10 sets of clothes and accessories, and last a bed which 2 people can comfortably sleep. It is evening but I am already feeling tired. In the hospital, I was unconscious while my body was healing injuries. Technically I hadn't taken a rest. But before sleeping I should eat something, as I hadn't eaten for 4 days. I took out some homemade food which my mother had forcefully packed in my backpack. My eyes moisture when I thought about my parents. My parents had called me when I fighting the battle. I had sent a quick text saying I was participating in the exam to enter an organization and will be a busy whole week, and that I will call them in a week. I will call them 2 days later and have a good talk with them. If I called early they will suspect something and worry for nothing. Tomorrow I have a lot to do. I shop for new clothes and things I need when I go out in adventuring, and sign up for a building training facility. I fell asleep as soon as my head touched the pillow. When I woke it already morning. Ashlyn is still sleeping on my chest. I did not disturb her and let her sleep. I opened news feed to for news. There is nothing new about the news and there is just small article about the train accident that happens 5 days ago. Ashlyn woke up groggily. Good morning Ashlyn, I said and pet her for a while. I freshen up and take a long bath. The hospital's robots must have cleaned me as I didn't see any dirt and blood on my body. Still, I scrub every inch of my body with soap. After taking bath, I also bathe Asylum. She is always quiet during bathing, not like other monsters who don't like a bath or those who enjoyed the baths. In the bath, she just stays quiet. I dried her feathers with dryer and removed her comb from my backpack to find its handle is broke. It must have broken during the battle. Still usable, I said and started to comb her hair. I have added a comb to the list of things I have buy in the mall. Let's go, Ashlyn, I said as I strode out of my apartment with Ashlyn in tow. I took the elevator for the lobby. The lobby is little active than yesterday. Youngsters could be seen coming and going out of the lobby. I didn't take a cab as the mall only 2 blocks away. The building also had a shop but I have to buy a variety of things, for that mall would be a better choice. The city is full of tall building. You will find barely any building which is smaller than 10 stories. West Blood City is built in the boundary of one of the most dangerous forests in a republic. Space is the luxury here. Manors and villas are very rare in the outer ring, can only see them in the middle ring and the central ring. I see many people walking on the streets, some alone while some with their monsters. People could be seen riding on there from the ground and in the air. It spotted tens of big birds who were flying with their partners and people riding many monsters on the road. Chapter 22 Shopping and Expenses. The mall has total 18 floors and sells everything from magical artifacts to home appliances. This is my first time to enter the mall. It is big as I expected to line with various brands storefront. I first walk into the clothing section. I am in really needs of cloths both everywhere and for adventuring. I chose the cloths which are currently in fashion. The adventuring and training suits really cost me a pretty penny, and not only clothes, I also brought all the accessories as well, such shoes, gloves, etc. After selecting clothes, I walked toward the adventuring department from which I brought necessary things which are required for adventuring outside, such as backpack, camps, and preservation boxes which require to store the monster's material. The preservation boxes are really special. They are just thumb size but they can expand to the size of the half-meter cube. Now I have to buy the most important things, that are potions and medical supplies, which are on the 13th floor. When I enter the floor potions section, I am quite enthralled by glittery bottles of the potions. There are hundreds of type of them, if not thousands. I have never much read about the potions on the web, but when I saw the price, these thumb-size colorful bottles, I so shocked that I nearly fall flat on my ass. The average price of this bottle is 10,000 credit. The potion with the lowest price cost 3,500 credit, and that potion is grade 1 low-level mana supplement potion, or simply known as mana potion, which used by LV.1 private grade evolvers. This is the potion which Jim drank during the battle to supplement his dried mana. This also the potion I came here for. Just that the potion I brought is grade 1 mid-level potion which costs 6,000 credit. I brought 3 of them costing me 18,000 credit. I had the wish to buy healing potion, but seeing it's the price of 20,000 credits, I decided to buy the ointment. I brought many miscellaneous things after that, such as Ashlyn's comb, bandages, etc. The total shopping, I spend a whopping 32,000 credits. The most expensive single thing is my backpack. It cost me whopping 7,000 credits, but seeing it's a function, I thought it's totally worth it. It's sleek black in color. It can endure the attack of specialist stage. The most important thing about this backpack that it is semi-automated. During the battle, if need anything from the backpack, I just need to say it with my voice and it will automatically provide me without the need of me opening it. It is a very good function which prompted me to buy it. Despite its high price, it is the lowest price backpack in the semi-automatic range of the backpacks. All the things I have to buy, I brought it. Even if I forgot something, I can order it from the web and it would be delivered in a few minutes. In my apartment, sitting on the bed, I check the services offered by the training hall. They all are standard services offered by the private training room, like private practice spaces, practice with robotic humans and monsters, etc. The fees of training facility are expensive. I have to pay 7,000 per month for it's a minimum package, but from what I read is all worth it. I sign up for it. Of the 50,000 credits which I got from selling monster cores, now I have only 11,000 left in my account, and me didn't think they will enough to last 10 days. Rent, food, and training, and for that, I have to spend 20,000 credit, and these are only basic necessities which adventurer needs. But to make the progress, one to have a different kind of potions and medicine, and to survive against both monsters and humans, one has to both offensive and defensive artifacts. I plan on leaving the city 3 days later, but first, I have to do practice in the training facility. Jim had said in the forest monsters aren't the only dangers, people also kill people. He said fighting with monsters and fighting with man is completely different. Before going outside, I should train with people first to get a hang of it. Thanks to the battle, my mana purity had reached 61%, only 4% away from the standard purity of 65%. One's mana purity, though innate talent or external sources like potions or monster material, could only be reached up to 65%, after that no innate talent or external source can help to purify your mana anymore. Only through hard work that you have to take further steps. That is where the most important job of refinement engine starts. It is the refinement engine that helps you to further. The more purified is your mana is, the more it helps you level up and evolve to next stage. Those who have low purity of mana have little chance advance into the further stage of evolver. If one wants to create a totem, one had to have least 70% of mana purity. Higher the purity is, stronger the totem would be. Many people wait for tens of years to level up to lieutenant stage to purify mana because of they only one chance to create a totem. Central storage of my refinement engine full. Now I just have to re-refine my mana for more purity. I sat on the lotus position on the mattress front of my bed and started to re-refining my mana. The whole process is dull and boring. I have moved mana from the central storage to refinement section, and the refinement mana then goes to condensation and then back to central storage. Before the battle, I barely able to refine my mana more than an hour, but now I have done it for 3 hours and I didn't feel much tired. It's like in the battle my state of mind had a big change, and I want to test that theory by practicing supreme combat exercise. The apartment too small to perform any exercise. If I perform the exercise here, I will probably break half the apartment. I will have to go to the training facility. I change into new white training suit that I have just brought especially to wear in the training facility. Ashin, will you stay in the apartment or integrate into me? I asked her, as in the training facility, the monsters are not allowed. Chu, she cried out in an angry manner, and integrate into me. I laugh seeing her antics. Still she can see everything that I am seeing when she is integrated inside me. Beep. I heard notification on my watch when I am walking toward the elevator. I open to see what it is about. It's from the building administration. It is saying that they have invited Sergeant Stage Evolver to give guidance lecture. I was said in apartment info that every month they invite someone to give guidance lecture about the magic practice. Being curious, I also decided to attend. It is only an hour lecture and starts in 10 minutes, there is nothing to lose even if it's a boring lecture. It's the only hour that I will waste. Chapter 23 Guidance. When I arrived at the training facility, there were already near 300 people waiting in there and had space for another 600. The training facility takes the whole floor, so there is enough space for 1,000 people to stand. The people kept coming, soon the hall filled with 500-something people. The guest speaker hadn't arrived, but I have come to know his details from the people. This time they had invited a master stage revolver to give guidance. Not long before the guest speaker came, and he also brought another young man with him, who waited below the stage. Today what I am going to tell you, some of you know this already know and some of you didn't. As you form a bond with your monster, you and your monster bonded for life. It is a symbiotic relationship where you both get something from each other. monsters get intellect and faster progress and you get its powers, he said. What is saying is common knowledge. After forming a bond with the Ashland, her intelligence had increased due to our telepathic and emotional bond with her, and I got her powers. Your monster level up and you also level up with it, but when you advance in specialist stage, dynamics change a little. In private stage, you advance also as you put little efforts and give it little time. You will advance in specialist stage. The specialist stage is where real practice starts. In specialist stage, if you have to level up, you have to satisfy several conditions first. Many of you those in specialist stage must know this and had access to know this information on the web, but private stage don't have access to this information. He continued, I am little intrigued about conditions he mentioned that specialist grade evolvers have to satisfy. In specialist grade, your monster form core of mana, which makes him many times stronger than private stage monster, but this is also becoming a problem for you. He said, now I am curious about what he is saying. After leveling up to specialist stage, your power also increased many times than you were private stage, and that became problematic. You sometimes feel pain or soreness or has little difficulty in accessing mana from your mana world. He is saying, a lot of people looked bored, they must know about these things he is speaking about. That happened because your body isn't strong enough. Your magic veins who carry mana every part of your body are not wide and strong enough to carry out mana, and that's where real expense of adventuring life starts. To solve these problems, we have to buy various expensive potions to make our body and mana veins stronger, and those who can't afford to buy potions and to take medicine to counter this problem, he said. I am shocked hearing this. I have seen my parents and many people eat medicine, and I grew up with the thought that everybody eats it in specialist grade. Today what I am going to tell you potions and potions cocktail that is used during my practice. He said, and started to say names of many potions and their names and names of potion cocktails which he used in the practice. Half the names of these positions and position cocktails I've seen in the mall. People only started to listen to him carefully when he started potions. The man seems to be very enthusiastic when he speaks about positions. Either he is an alchemist or he must have drunk many potions in his life. I started to sweat just thinking about the money I have to spend buying potions when I reached specialist stage and above. One had to buy hundreds of thousand credit worth potions, when they are specialist stage alone, and millions in corporal stage, and number would go up as he kept leveling up the grades. He is quite a good speaker also. From him I've come understand why all people are so excited in the name of joining an organization or government. He said, and government and organizations have their own specially crafted positions which suit their members. As long as their members progress, they provide everything to their members. He spoke so long without care for the time. It already passed 1 hour, and his friend in the corner looked bored as he doing nothing. I will tell you a secret that everyone knows, but today I brought miracle in front of you, he said as he waved his hand toward his young friend, who looked angry as he knows his friend going to say something about him. This is my nephew John, and he is a very hard working. He had completed 7 sets of the Supreme Combat exercise without using those machines, and you will be shocked to know he didn't spend any money on the potions except for common mana supplement potions, he said. He face filled with pride when he said that, but his nephew looked little angry. Every in the hall had shocked faces when they heard his friend completed the 7 sets of the Supreme Combat exercise. It is a very, very painful exercise. If not for it's my life and death in the battle, I don't think I've ever able complete 1 set of it. I still shudder whenever I think about the pain I felt when I circulated 24th cycle. I was really painful, it felt like a death every second. He mentioned some machine. I have to ask someone about it later. His body and mana veins are way stronger than us potion drinkers. As along he able to complete the 10 sets of the exercise, he didn't have to drink 1 drop of potion, and his body will be more than ready to bear magic of lieutenant grade monster, he said. After saying this, his angry friend forcefully dragged him out of the training hall. Mr. Mason left hall rather smiling embarrassingly. We all laughed seeing Mr. Mason's condition after he left the training hall. Some idiots being overexcited started to practice exercise then and there, but cried out loudly at first cycle, ha ha ha. All the youths laugh after seeing this. Do you know what machines Mr. Mason mentioned which help in practicing exercise? I asked the pretty girl beside me who looked to be in her early 20s. Forget it about using them, only government and big organizations has them, she said curtly. I felt little disappointed hearing them. Do you know how they work? I asked her again despite hearing her curt reply earlier. They numb the pain of the exercise somehow, she said. This time she answered without any curt tone as if feeling my genuine curiosity. Chapter 24 Fighting Anga Inst Android. She walks into one of the private training rooms and the door automatically closed behind her. There are many private training rooms in the training hall and there are also open fields and ring. All the fighting trading floors have their specialty, one is free to choose whichever floor he wants to train. Many people of both private and specialist grade could be seen fighting in the rings. If one had found a partner to fight he just have to stand in the and challenges would come automatically if fights are gone to the life-threatening level then building AI. First will give a warning and if they didn't listen it will automatically fire grade 1 gun which filled with a heavy dose tranquilizer dart that can even knock out corporal stage warrior for the day. I first decided to train with a humanoid robot which said to be more powerful with the same level evolved. I went into the private training room and stand in the center of it and take a deep breath. I decided to practice supreme combat exercise first. I started to move my arm in a simple fashion and started to circulate the first move of the exercise. Soon pain hit me but it's bearable. I continue moving my arms started to circulate second, third, fourth, fifth and sixth. At the sixth move, I started to feel strain still I continue to circulate moves of the exercise. The pain felt during performing supreme combat exercise is not like one felt beating of wooden stick on flesh, not like lacerating sword on the skin but felt thousands needle biting your flesh. As you continue to advance the moves, it transcends pain of flesh and felt like pain of soul, like needle biting you at your very core. When I reach a circulation of the 15th move I slowed down a little and continue circulating the 15th move. At 15 moves I started to feel the real soul-wrenching pain but still I continue to advance after taking little rest. Practicing supreme combat exercise is like climbing a steep mountain. Once you reach the top and wanted to do the second time, it will have the same danger of falling but it will become familiar and easier as long as you kept concocting new footprints you can still find it easier to reach it a second time. After reaching the 20th cycle I kept going forward because I know, once I stopped I will not able to move forward. Fuck I said though my gritted teeth as I can't able to circulate the 23rd move, however much I try but I wasn't able to move forward, it's like a gigantic wall of pain is blocking my advancing. Now, this is the time to test my theory. I started to operate my refinement engine while circulating the 23rd move of the supreme combat exercise. Oh, I screamed through my gritted teeth, I am feeling the immense pain. I felt like my head would if this keeps going on but I still continued. I started to get the hang of the pain after some time. The pain is still hard to endure but now I am able to think clearly. I start on the 23rd cycle and endure the pain of and never stop circulating mana. At 23rd move I felt like someone banging hammer made of full needles is banging on my head. I kept circulating the 23rd move for this half hour but I never able to move to the 24th move, no matter how many times I try. I may not able to circulate the 24th move of the supreme combat exercise but still, I am able to prove my theory right. Operating mana refining engine same time as circulating moves of supreme combat exercise makes my refining speed 5 times faster than the normal time I practice. I stopped both the exercise and refinement engine and tap a few times on my hollow watch. I want to test my prowess against the robot of the same level as me. In the same level, it also has the sub-levels. I directly chose the highest difficulty. Soon 2 holes opened from ground, one opposite to and one beside me. The sword started to come out whole beside me. It is katana style training sword which had dull edges. In the school, I used to practice with both rapiers and katana but slowly I took more liking toward katana. While rapier had a bigger range and keep enemies at distance and good at trusting but the problem is its lethality. Katana's range is smaller than the rapier's and user have to go really close to its opponent, but it has lethal offense and its every swing is used to cut the enemy in two. Katana can also be used as just as cutting, but its forte is in the swift kill, and that is the style I prefer. Soon 2-meter tall humanoid robot comes to the front me, holding a scimitar, and on its head had a life bar. When the life bar got emptied means I lost. To active the robot, I just have to say start. Start. I said and started to circulate the first move of the supreme combat exercise. Clang thud, I took a 2 steps back as our sword touch looked like I've taken this robot too lightly. I started to circulate the second round of the exercise. Clang clang clang, I felt little force on my wrist at all. As I kept attacking the robot, I circulated the third movement of the exercise because I was feeling little pressure. After circulating the third move, he and I are still little disadvantages fighting against him, but I have to say this android is a really good opponent to fight. I kept fighting it for 15 minutes without any fruit and decided to circulate the fourth and fifth movements of the exercise. As my power increased, his and my power is to come. Clin. I sword collided with his waist, emptying its life bar 30%. I thought Elite LV2 private stage would be stronger, that would force me further circulate the exercise. Well, this is to be expected, this is an only android, not human. It is still bound by its an algorithm, it can't think outside the box like a human, and another important thing is that it can't use any half skills. If any elite from organization's elite came, I may not necessarily able to beat him despite circulating the complete set exercise. Jim had told me that super elites from the organization can defeat those are a grade above them. In front them my little ability is no used. Jim had come from the alchemical organization and he is a novice alchemist who never fought the real battle before. The tunnel battle is the only reality he fought in his real life. Clink clink clink, I attacked consecutively and completely drained its life bar in one go. The robot stopped in its track and moved back to the original position. Chapter 25, Battle of Specialists. Shink, my sword stab at its chest and it stops as its life bar is completely drained. I've been fighting with this Leave 3 private grade android for last 20 minutes and finally defeated it when I am using the 13th move of the exercise. The android walks back to its place and just stand there. It was a good fight as it forced me to circulate the 13th move of the exercise. It feels good as I also refining my mana as I am fighting with an infighting mana refinement engine operation even faster. I decide to upgrade its fighting power to LV1 specialist stage. I want to test how the power of specialist grade android. Start. Clang thud. I blasted backward, but fortunately, I didn't collide too hard with the wall as air blasts from the wall soften the thud. I am such an idiot. I said I started to specialist stage while still circulating the 13th move of exercise. I stand up and started to circulate move of the exercise till 18th. Clang 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 thud. Our swords collide by force. I started to take a step back by force. Looks like the 18th move would not be enough. After circulating 19th and the 20th move did I able to stop my steps. I am quite enjoying the fight. In this fight, there is no life and death fear. I can analyze and refine my moves without worries. I started to try different sword moves that I learned in school. What I am using now is simple sword moves and there are no overly complicated managers, just 10 moves comprising of attack and defense. Jim said I should take some advanced sword classes. He can tell the sword style I am using is a foundational technique which used build one's foundation in using sword, not fighting opponents. Learning advanced weapon styles are necessary. If I knew some styles I would need a lot fewer energy fights and my attacks become more lethal. Using weapon style there is no mana utilization involved, they are just efficient and clean moves of weapons, not like a skill that needs specific route of mana utilization to create maximum power in either offense and defense. Learning a good weapon style expensive, to learn average weapon style cost. Clang, our sword collide and we both back down. I am currently circulating the 21st move of Supreme Combat Exercise. With it, I am a standstill with the android. We have been fighting like this for an hour but there is no result of who will win. Clang clang clang. I swing my sword directly towards its neck, but I thwarted. Being android, its coordination is flawless with no waste of the energy. Compared to it, I felt I am a little rough. My moves aren't refined enough and I waste energy in some useless move. I do that not because I am doing it wrong, or there is the fault in my sword style, it's just a question of the experience. I don't have any experience in the combat, except for battle in the tunnel. To have smooth moves, one has to have experience. With enough battle experience, one can even close the gap between stages. Everyone has their battle styles, some work on offense while some on defense, some on speed while some on precision. Every prominent evolver have their own forte in battle. To know this forte and perfect it to the apex, one needs experience. Shank. My attack grazes the android's shoulder, taking 4% from its life bar. This is my first attack which landed on it since our fight started an hour ago. I would have circulated the 22nd move of the exercise, but I have to beat it while circulating the 21st move of the exercise. It will be very tough. As the fight progresses, the more data the android will collect on me and counter me using that data. Still, I will not give up. I will beat it while circulating the 21st move. Dab. Ouch. I cried out as I got hit by my shoulder by the android's sword. That god, we were using practice sword, I would have got injured on my shoulder. I and android keep fighting, some I got hit, sometimes it's good thing my body is stronger thanks to me practicing supreme combat exercise, otherwise my body would have got sore all over it and that affected my performance in the fight. Shank. I again hit it. I have been fighting it for the last 3 hours and many time I hit it, decreasing its life bar to a mere 15%. Clang. I attack the android but it counters it as is perfectly understood my moves. It is very difficult to launch a surprise attack, but still, I try. In this hour of fighting, I started to gain an understanding of my weaknesses. Clin. Yes. I shouted as my sword collided with its neck. It stopped as its life bar completely empty. I tried a very different move and succeeded. I finally succeeded in defeating it. If it is a person, I don't have confidence in defining him because people have powers and they can also use skills. Boom boom. I hear the void sound as I exit out of private training room. I look to find 2 people were fighting in the ring in full abandon. Every move of their make loud noises and their fighting speed is so fast that I am having a problem clearly seeing them. They both are definitely specialist grade evolver and peak 1 at that. In the ring, young men and women fighting each other. The boy looked to be the early 20s, wearing snow-white fighting suits. He must have handsome looks if not for him wearing ferocious expression when fighting against that girl. He is wearing copper-colored gauntlets which seem to be covered in ghost green gas. Looking at the ghost green gas, he seemed to have the poison-related ability. Opposite to him is serious-looking beautiful girl same age as him, wearing a sports bra which tightly holding her bountiful breasts and tight-fitting pants. Some of the boys only looking at the breast which juggles whenever that girl moves. She is holding silver-colored short spear which covering in a gray layer of just like, that gray seemed her power which it seemed to be shielding her from the gas, also enhancing her attacks. This is not looked like a friendly match. They are fighting very seriously. Who are they? And why are they fighting so seriously? I asked the friendly-looking youth who seemed to have more interest in watching the girl's jiggling breast than watching the real fight. Are you new in the building? He asked while his eyes still trained on the girl's jiggling breasts. Yes, I moved in just yesterday, I said. Well, it's quite a funny incident, he said with the laugh. The boy is Nigel and the girl is Madeline. They are also one of the powerful evolvers in our building. Nigel had been pursuing Madeline for 2 years without any fruit, and yesterday Madeline admitted in Crystal Knights and thinking she is leaving building. Nigel confessed to her openly in training facility, but she flat out rejected him. Feeling being shamed, he challenged her for the fight, without taking his eyes off Madeline's sports bra. Chapter 26 Battle's Conclusion. Her boobs are really nice, right? Asked friendly looking guy beside in lost tone. Yes they are, I said out without thinking. Thank the heavens. I said softly, and no one paying attention to us but Michael didn't know he will see those breasts in near future. I am Billy, by the way. He introduced himself as he took a short look at my face before he again started to stare at Madeline's boobs. Michael, I said. The fight is started to get serious. From their fighting it is clearly seen that both of them are using weapon styles. Any one of them can easily kill me second even if I'm circulating the one set supreme combat exercise. Suddenly there is a change in their battle. Big amount of ghostly green smoke started to come of Nigel's body and started to solidify into basketball size fist, and quickly 6 basketball size fist which looks like smoke coming out of them. They started to float around Nigel. It looks like a long time but the whole process finished within seconds. Take this. Nigel shouted as he whirled 6 solidified ghostly green fists toward Madeline while the attack coming toward her. Madeline was also preparing for the defense as fist-size hexagonal glasses started to materialize in front of her, and soon all glass connected and formed a shield in front of her. It all happened so fast that even Michael barely able to see the half skills forming. Bang bang bang. As fists started to collide with shields on after another, the ghostly gas fist didn't dissipate after colliding with a shield. Nigel controls them and attacks with them on Madeline's shield over and over. The shocked expression could be seen on Nigel's face when he saw none of his story's fists able to penetrate her shield. Madeline's shield held out till that ghostly fists dissipated. Spider cracks had formed all over the shield when that last fist dissipate. Do you know what those half skills are? I asked Billy. You don't know? Billy asked back confusingly. Just I was about to say that I don't have access to read about them. Billy cut. Oh. You must be at the private stage, he asked. I nodded. Billy didn't ask in a delirious way. He must have thought I must be specialist grade as most of the tenants are. Sorry for that. I didn't know you were at the private stage. Billy apologized. It's okay. I said, as long as anyone shows its aura at his own will, no one can get their level, especially before the corporal stage. In corporal stage one sense become sharp enough that one can easily guess the level of those below him. There is law in a republic that we only get access to the information according to our power grade. In a private stage, I could only read information that will useful to the private stage evolver. To read higher stage, either I have to level up or have to upgrade my access through other means, such as lieutenant grade evolver can upgrade my access to corporal level. The half skill that Nigel used is known as Deca Smoke Fist, which is derived from the skill known as Hex Smoke skill. In using half skill one can create up to 10 fists, and using original skill one can create up to 100 fists, he said. And the half skill that Madeline used is known as Minor Glass Shield, and it is derived from skill known as Glass Shield. It is signature defense skill of Glass Knight, and only those at Class A or above can learn it, he said. A hint of envy could be seen in his eyes when he talks about Glass Shield. Having being signature defense skill of big organization, it has to have some might. This Madeline's intelligence in too great. It is just 2 days since she joined the Glass Knight, and in just 2 days she got basic mastery over it, Billy said in shock voice. Not only the many people had a shocked expression seeing this. I don't know how to time it took to understand and acquire basic mastery over it, but looking at all of them's expression, it must have taken more than 2 days. The battle continues on, and more people also started to come in the training facility soon. Nearly those people, many of the people must have called their friends. Such interesting battle they rarely able to see. Madeline, can you at least tell me why you don't like me? Just give me a reason, please, asked Nigel in nearly pleading tone. Madeline didn't say anything, just stayed silent and countered Nigel's move. This Nigel must really like Madeline to ask a question in front of all people without caring about reputation. Nigel's a good guy, but he is just too obsessed with Madeline. If he can divert his obsession into practice, he will achieve many things. If he can't, he won't able make much progress in the future, said Billy softly. Billy must have known Nigel for time to know to say this about him. Do you know Nigel? I asked him. Yes, he is my best friend. We grew up in the same town, said Billy enthusiastically. Hearing his answer, I really want to curse this Billy with all my heart. If he is your best friend, then why are you so insanely focused on boobs of best friend's crush? Can't you give your friend some respect and not to stare at your friend's crush? I wouldn't want a friend like Billy who looks at my girlfriend's assets with such a gaze. If you able to defeat me, I'll tell you, said Madeline softly. Hearing her voice, all crowd stopped talking and watched Nigel intently. To their discontent, Nigel just nodded and didn't say anything, but his attacks became more aggressive. Bang bang bang. Sounds could be heard as spear and gauntlet crash with other. No result could be determined to see their battle, as they both are each other equal in power. The battle has been going on for 3 hours, but results still couldn't be seen clearly. If one completely trust one's eye, one could see Nigel had the upper hand by a fraction. Both of them are exchanging raging blows, no one able to admit defeat. Someone even started the betting pool and lots of people could be seen on betting Nigel. The chances of Nigel's winning are really few, said Billy. Why do you say so? From the battle, chances of Nigel's winning could be seen high. I said. Billy just smiled. You will see, he said. Still in the whole battle, Billy still hadn't taken his eyes off Madeline's chest. Another 2 hours pass when there is sudden change in the battle. A back color string start to spread out from the tip of Madeline's spear and sudden bonded Nigel. He didn't have chance to put any offensive when tip Madeline touched the Nigel's necks. I happened so fast that I have had to see it clearly. We have once accidentally had seen Madeline use this half skill outside. It was so swift that monster had no chance to escape when I string bonded it and Madeline's spear pierced that monster's skull, he said. Madeline walked out of the ring and left the training facility with her spear. Nigel stood motionless on the ring as he can't believe he lost Madeline in such fashion. Zip, suddenly Billy vanish in front of me. When I look up, he is taking Nigel's hand and walking out of the ring with him toward the exit of the training facility. I sucked a cold breath when I think about the Bill speed. His chubby's full 1 second in front of me, the next second he was on stage taking Nigel out. Seeing this, I remember my father warning he had given me before I left that in a big city, everyone on Powerhouse treads carefully. I sigh when I remember my father's words. What he said is really true. Chapter 27, Sparring with Burr. Soon most of the people left after Madeline's and Nigel's battle is over. The battle is an eye-opener for me. After most of the people left, the training facility looked quite empty. There are still people here who sparring in the rings or going inside the private training rooms to train. Seeing empty ring, I walk into it and started to release my arrow lightly. These rings specially made for sparring. One just has to stand inside the ring and someone will enter inside to spar with you. In this way you don't have to ask anyone personally. Those who wish to spar with you will automatically come to you. My only fear is that no one will come to challenge me. In this building majority of the residents are in the specialist stage and very few, because to stay in the building one had to pay nearly 20,000, so very few could afford it. I waited for 15 minutes and about to leave thinking no one would come when I saw a shifty-eyed looking young man is walking towards the ring. Do you mind if I spar with you? I have to tell you thou I am at LV3 of private stage. Asked shifty-eyed boy. You man? No problem, I said. I don't mind him being Leave 3. Before entering in the ring, my plan was that I first spar with Leave 2 Evolver and then fight Leave 3. It's just now I directly have to fight LV.3. Nice to meet you, I am Bert, said Shifty Eyes young man as we entered the ring. Nice to meet you too, I am Michael, I replied his greeting. This is going to fun watching Rookie Crusher Bert to crush another rookie, said the boy to his group of friends who are watching Bert entering the ring. Many people got interested in seeing Rookie Crusher Bert entering the ring. This rookie quite lucky though. Remember the last rookie that Bert crushed, he cried in the ring, said another boy. Bert had uploaded the whole video on the building feed for everyone to watch. That poor rook left the apartment building in the week. Thanks to fighting between Madeline and Nigel, not many people to go to watch, even if this boy also cried on the ring, said his friend. This one is going to get beaten badly. The last rookie was much better. He was at LV.3 but this rookie is only at LV.2. Bert is way stronger. He had fought with many Leave 1 specialist grade and rarely lost. He even beat some weaker ones, said the pixie hair girl in the group. They all nodded, hearing in affirmation, hearing Pixie Hair Girl's words, thinking that the new rookie going to get beaten. We both stood opposite of each other and countdown of 10 projected in the middle of the ring. I started to circulate the moves of the exercise and stopped at the 13th move. I also started operating my refinement engine to refine my mana. I gripped my practice sword and stand in attacking position. In my comparison, Bert seemed relaxed as he loosely holding his staff. Tring. The bell rang out and we both attack each other. The swishing sound could be heard as Bert waved his staff toward the head. I got startled by the sound made by his staff as it tore through the air. Without wasting any time, I circulated my mana to the 18th move of the exercise. Clank, sound rang out in the ring as my sword and his staff collided. I felt a shock ran through my hands, but I didn't take a step back. A clear shock could be seen on the best face. He hides it quickly, but I am able to notice that flicker in his expression. Your skill is very, Bert said. I just smiled and didn't reply. Not many people had keen eyes like Jim, who could notice I am not using skills but circulating supreme combat exercise. Clang clang clang, our weapons started to collide as we fought on. Bert is really good at using staff. Many times Bert's staff grazed past my clothes, nearly injuring me, but I never able to get my sword close to him. This damn staff of his, its range it too long, never giving me any chance to get close to him. It's not just his staff, but he also has advanced weapon style which helps him keeping me at bay. Clank, our weapons collide loudly and we both took one step back. Haha, we both laugh seeing this. Currently we are both fighting equally, while I am using more power in my attacks, but Bert is experienced as he effortlessly diverting and blocking my attacks. I am really enjoying the fight. Really, if Leave 3 Red Nail Rat had been in Bert's place, I would have easily finished 3 of them, but fighting human is really different. No matter how different moves I try, but is easily countering it. Clank clank clank, suddenly Bert changed his fighting. The staff become bloodhound whenever I go. It follows, barely giving any chance to retaliate. I started to circulate the 19th move of the exercise to relieve some of my pressure. I felt good as my speed and strength had increased due to the 19th move, and I begin to fight back against Bert. Seeing he is losing his edge against me, attacks become more and more powerful that I have to circulate the 20th cycle of the exercise to fend off Bert's powerful moves. While he was fighting best, he didn't notice that more and more people looking at his fight. Wow, this rookie is really good, said young man to his friends. Yes, he is quite good. Look at Bert's face, he looked like he had eaten some focus. I just wish that Bert got somehow, as said his friend. Hope could be seen in his face. Don't daydream. This rookie will also get beaten by Bert just like you did, said another of his friend. Hearing this, his expression turned ugly. He still remembers that day 3 months ago and he was new to the building. Just like this rookie, he was also sparred with Bert in his first day. Bert had beaten him and humiliated him in front of all people who were watching, and then uploaded the video on building feed to watched by all people. Many powerful people wanted to teach him a lesson, but they didn't dare to, in respect his father, who is superintendent of the building as well as corporal level evolver. Even now Bert had been fighting on at his 70% and he hadn't used his power and skills yet, said the strongest boy in the group. This quieted down all of them and they begin watch battle silently. Part 2 of the series ends here. If you enjoyed it, please give us a like and subscribe so we can be motivated to make even better videos in the future.